Happy Friday, degenerate gamblers. Welcome back to the Sharp Action Report. This is the home of fight, and we are joined by my guy Andrew from Superbook Sports. He's going to talk to us about all the notable public and sharp action coming in here on UFC 300. Andrew, we've done a lot of shows together. We've talked through these sharp reports a bunch of different times, but this one feels special, man. Like, this is such a big, awesome card. I cannot wait to hear what you're seeing over there. But first and foremost, how you doing?
Man, yeah, this card is hitting a little bit different for sure. I'm not gonna lie about it. I feel like we've been looking forward to this one for quite some time. So, yeah, I'm so excited, and I'm just expecting the handle to be incredible the next couple days as well. I mean, it's already been very good. We've definitely done our best to extend the limits on these fights because from the kick, I mean, there's just great fights all the way through. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this card. I'm sad I might not be able to make it over there. The prices are a little pricey for UFC 300 if you wanted to go watch it live, but I mean, I'm obviously going to be locked in, and I cannot wait.
Yeah, man, it's going to be a good card. But those front row seats better be filled for this one. I don't care about those people that are, they skip the prelims. Not this card, baby. TV's on. Everyone leave me alone. Shot of Fireball in hand with some popcorn in the microwave. We're enjoying this card from the jump. All right, man, let's get into this bad boy. For those of you who may not have seen the show before, first and foremost, I want to thank you for joining us. Secondly, this is Andrew, and he does work for Superbook Sports. He's the head odds manager over there, especially with the UFC stuff. Keeps an eye on the line movements, the sharp and public action that are coming in, and he gives us little tidbits of information on this show, especially for these big pay-per-view cards. Make sure you give him a follow, show some appreciation for him giving us the time and the information, and then hit that like button for me while you're here. First fight of the night, we've got Deiveson Figueiredo taking on Cody Garbrandt. A couple of former champs here. Cody Garbrandt, durability questions all the way around. Deiveson Figueiredo kind of did the almost retirement dance, moved up a weight class instead. Very interesting fight, man. Looked like it opened up a decent bit closer than the line is now, but you've got Deiveson sitting right around minus 300 most places. Gun to my head, I'm going to pick Deiveson Figueiredo to win this fight, obviously, but I hate that price tag, man. What are you seeing on this one as far as the action goes?
Yeah, I'm with you. I would agree that the price does seem pretty aggressive for Figueiredo's first move up in a weight. But yeah, so we opened this one at 340. It's currently sitting $3 here in Nevada. Early on, we actually took a bet at plus 270 on Cody, and that kind of shot the prices down. And it didn't stop there. We took another big bet from a respected bettor at 255. So this is one that we have a tremendous amount of liability on Cody here, just to start the card, which is it's different. I mean, this card is just a little bit different, so it's not going to be the same breakdown as our typical breakdowns. But yeah, to start off the card, we are in a spot where we could really use Figueiredo. I know we talk about the parlays a lot. I would say the parlays for this card have been insane. Just seeing them shoot through the screen, everybody's parlaying a lot of stuff together. Yeah, there's a lot of excitement, but so far on this fight, we definitely need Figueiredo. But we do have those respected bets on Cody. So coming tomorrow, I wouldn't be shocked if we actually need Cody because all that parlay liability. But as of now, I would say we definitely are in a spot where we need Figueiredo. And for me, I'm with you. It's tough to trust the chin of Cody, but yeah, I mean, we definitely have those respected bets, and we have to keep an eye on them for sure.
Okay. Potential parlay buster to start the evening, which is always an interesting position to find yourselves in. Next up, we got Bobby Green taking on Jim fucking Miller. I'll say it because Bruce Buffer won't. I'll throw the F out there for everybody. I love this fight, man. This is so good. These guys have been booked several times before. It's just never quite come to fruition. I'm glad, it's not a Khabib versus Tony situation. They finally get in there and hash it out before it's all said and done. But at the end of the day, Bobby Green's got similar durability concerns for me as Cody Garbrandt at this point with his last couple of wins, but it's kind of a decent little step down in competition for him fighting Jim, but Jim has never looked better. So what are you seeing on this one, man? What are the people saying?
Yeah, surprisingly, this is an early one, but this is a big discussion back in the back room between the guys who are pretty locked in on the UFC. There's a lot of mixed opinions on this one, where a lot of the guys have already made bets on Jim Miller, and I haven't got there because, like you said, it feels like a big step down in competition for Bobby Green. Bobby Green's kind of fought the who's who in this division, but then at the same time, he's coming off that loss where it was a questionable stoppage to say the least. He took a little bit of punishment in that fight, and it's a 4-month turnaround. So, yeah, I mean, it's a pretty quick turnaround to come back off of that. But, I mean, obviously these guys wanted to be on UFC 300, and you can't blame them. So we opened Bob Green up at 165. It's currently sitting 175. The handle on this fight's been really good two-way on this one. Currently, we need Jim Miller, and we've kind of booked it to need him because, like I said, a few of the guys in the back really like that side. I wouldn't say there's been any overly respected action on this, but we've booked it to need Jim Miller, not aggressively because that money is going to come in with the parlays on the favorites. I'd say one of the notable bets that is not that surprising, but it was a bigger bet, was on the under in this fight. So the totals on this card, I don't know if it's after Dana upped the 50K to 300, but actually this morning we did get a pretty big respected bet on the under. So that was pretty notable.
You know what, man? I'll be honest with you. I absolutely am looking unders on this card way more now that is on the line. Like 300K is not a small amount of money. These fighters are going to be going for it. And in fact, Bobby Green specifically said that he was changing his tune because of that. So like a guy that usually would kind of stick, move, and jab and run around the outside now is talking about firefighting for a bonus. So I definitely think the under in this fight makes a ton of sense. And my pre-prediction was Bobby Green by decision. I actually think the under 2.5 is going to make my card, and Jim Miller inside the distance is looking all the more sweeter because I think if they firefight, Jim is really going to get kind of more opportunity to finish from that than he otherwise would have. That's giving him his win condition. I think Jim is way more live now, and I think the under makes a ton of sense. So
yeah,
glad to hear that.
Yeah, I won't lie. This morning when I came in and I saw what was going on with these unders, and there's a little bit more interest, I definitely shaded our numbers towards the under a little bit. Smart. Because I mean, I just you kind of know what people want to bet after those kind of things. I mean, not that every fight is going to be under. I saw some
the very
parlays.
first thing I did was parlay every fight not to go the distance. I followed suit with that. I saw my guy Matty Betts made a big ass parlay to win 100K, and I was like, "There's no way I'm letting him do this alone." So I went ahead and did the same thing. So
yeah, I'm sure those on Twitter. So
we'll get one or two spoilers. One fight's gonna squeeze its way over to the decision, and it's gonna ruin everybody's night. But what the hell, man? It's UFC 300. I gotta go for it.
I'm with you.
All right. Jessica Andrade up next, taking on Marina Rodriguez. One of those interesting spots where the trajectory Andrade has been on. A lot of people, I think, are surprised that she's lined as the favorite at this point. I agree with it. I bet Jessica. I like her in this spot. But I'm not what we're talking about today. I am not the big guy, believe it or not, guys. I am not the sharp action. Andrew, what are you seeing? What are the smart people telling you as far as their money is concerned?
Yeah, this one is fun because, I mean, we talked about it a little bit earlier this week because I know you got in on it. And this is one I looked at early and I just didn't pull the trigger, and it's kind of upsetting me that I've seen this number just absolutely get away. So we opened up Andrade at +05, so she opened as a dog. And it is shot all the way to 155. And we've done these before, and there's not a lot of times where you see that kind of line movement based off something that's close to a pick. A 50-cent line move for something on a pick is pretty drastic. Mm-hmm. So for me, it just tells you that the sharp action is out there on Andrade because that number would not move like that. We did get a pretty big respected bet early on Andrade at even money. Clearly that number is no longer there. So I wouldn't say I'm advocating for anybody to go out there and bet it at -155. But we've certainly done our job and tried to book this to need Andrade as much as possible. And we've gotten a lot of Rodriguez bets too. I'm not going to lie about it. I wouldn't say anything's been respected, but we've taken some large wagers on Rodriguez, and this is another fight where we did get a larger bet on the under as well, which
I like that.
caught our eye, and we moved that one pretty aggressively as well.
Man, it's another one that I like. I think any Andrade fight under makes a ton of sense. Again, you put those bonuses on the line, they're going to fight that much more viciously trying to get that. So I think the under makes a ton of sense here in this spot. And it's definitely a spot that I like Andrade. And folks, this is why we do the show. This man helps run the numbers in the book over at Superbook. And they are telling you, look, we like Andrade in this spot, and we are trying to get as much money on the Marina Rodriguez side as we can. They're dangling plus money out there on it. I want to be on the bookie side for that. That's exactly what we're here for. So thank you for the info, man. Let's move on. Jalen Turner, Renato Moicano, a spot that kind of has me a little bit terrified. I very much like Jalen Turner in this spot. I think he's got a lot of early finishing upside, but I've spoken to some people who I trust, who I respect, who are very sharp and intelligent, and they're really starting to poke holes in my theory here. And I'm thinking more and more as we get closer, Renato Moicano, Money Moicano might just have some of the tools he needs to win this fight. So I've got a parlay with Jalen Turner in it, and I'm nervous. Talk to me, man. What do you see here?
Yeah, this fight is a super fun one as well. I mean, the whole card is. So we opened Turner up at 220. It's currently sitting 250. I will say that this has been one of the less bet fights on the card. I think it's just based off of this price is just a little bit scary. A lot of the guys have, when we talk about this fight, it's like, yeah, I mean, I like Jalen Turner to win, but I'm not going to be that guy who's going out there laying 250. You kind of wish that price was a little bit sweeter to bet, but yeah, we haven't seen too much action on this fight so far. Like I said, it moves 30 cents. The action is definitely coming in more on the Turner side, but yeah, I mean, I would. This is a big line where if Moicano gets there, this would be a big one for the book because this is a big parlay buster. I would say Turner's. It's been less straight bets. It's been more of the parlay side of things. But we're definitely hoping this can be one of the ones where the dog has a good shot. And Moicano with that bonus, he's going to go for it. He's a dog that I don't mind. I don't mind having the book's money on, And I was going to say something else. Oh, when I watched them face off, I was shocked. Turner looked massive in comparison. I mean, he always looks massive. It's incredible.
He always looks huge.
When he gets to 170, it's pretty incredible. It's not Kayla Harrison level, but it's pretty impressive. So
the fact that he makes 155 for these fights, I don't know how he hasn't. Like, I expect this guy to pull the full Rumble Johnson at some point. He's going to be fighting at 205 eventually. I don't know how he does it.
He's massive. And Moicano's not a small guy. He's a big guy too. So it's like just seeing the two of them, it's like, wow, this dude really must be cutting it. Just an incredible amount of weight. But I don't got too much to report on this fight, but I'm super excited for this one and hoping for Moicano here.
All right. One of the more back and forth fights up next, Sodiq Yusuff and Diego Lopes. Man, I said myself, I feel like this line is backwards. Like everything that's happened, I feel like Yusuff is deserving of being the favorite in this spot. But at the same time, I'm such a fan of everything Diego Lopes is doing. And one thing I thought about is some of these guys are just the dude. You know what I mean? Like you can look at the career trajectory and the fights and strength of competition and you're like, that guy should be the favorite. But at the end of the day, it doesn't fucking matter. Some of these guys are just going to pull it off. And I feel like that's Diego in this spot. So like, it makes sense to me to stay away from it because he's really got to prove it. But at the same time, he could pay off this minus 140 price tag really easily. So no bet for me, rooting for my guy, kind of lean by submission. Wouldn't be crazy to me if he kind of rocks Sodiq and then wrapped up a neck or something like that. But curious to see what you guys are seeing as far as the money is concerned.
Yeah, this is one where you're exactly right. There's been a lot of interest on both sides. It's pretty interesting to me that Diego's price has just been so all over the place because I feel like the market is kind of catching up where he wasn't getting a lot of respect in these last few fights where you could get him at like basically a pick'em price in his last two fights. The Movzar fight, he was obviously a big underdog when he took that on a short notice, but it seems like the price and the market has totally flipped on him and they know the public is in on this guy. So it doesn't shock me that he's the favorite. But I'm pretty surprised that we haven't got more respected action on Yusuff. It's actually one of the sides that I think I would like to bet. And if this price keeps moving up, I definitely think I will get there. But this thing opened up at 140. There was some action coming in early on Yusuff. The price kind of dropped a little bit all the way to 125. We did get a pretty big respected bet at that point at 125. And now the line is sitting back where we opened it at 140. So really, we got that one big sharp bet, but there's been really good action on both sides. And for me, if it keeps inching up, I think this is a side where I might pull the trigger on Yusuff personally.
There you go. There you go, man. That's kind of the fight, in my opinion, on this card that seems to be like the Twitter Civil War of the week. You know, if we're not counting the main event, that's obviously going to be number one. But any other fight on this card, it's probably that one where there's, you know, opinions going back and forth. Holly Holm, Kayla Harrison up next. Kayla Harrison stepping into the cage as a decent sized chunk favorite over Holly Holm, which is not something you see very often.
Yeah. I mean, the whole thing for me was, I mean, we know what Kayla Harrison is, and she said years ago that she would have to chop her leg off to make 135. So we already knew what we were worried about here with Kayla. It was all going to be how she looked on the scale, and she made the weight. I wouldn't say she looked she didn't look great making the weight. She obviously looked pretty sucked out, but yeah, we opened this thing at 450. It bounced up to $5. It went down to $4, and now we're sitting back up at $5. So we've gotten some action on Holly Holm, and that's kind of bounced this price around, but nothing overly respected. But it is obviously going to be a leg when you have somebody who's a $5 favorite. That's just people are going to tag that with all of their parlays. So we're expecting that. And actually, after she made a weight, I was quick to move the price up a little bit, just in case people were looking to bet her after that the weight thing. So yeah, we're looking to book to need Kayla, but at the end of the day, we all in the back kind of know we're going to need Holm pretty bigly in this fight for sure.
Yeah, no, that absolutely makes sense. Tall order, man. I don't think that's your parlay buster this week. Personally, that's just me. Calvin Kattar taking on Aljamain Sterling. I've got a hot take on this one, man. I can't wait to hear what you've seen on your side of the desk because I think I might be in the minority. But go right ahead. What do you see?
I don't know. You're on the Aljo side, right?
No.
Oh no, you're on the Kattar side.
I'm on the Kattar side.
No. You're definitely going against the grain on this one, 100%.
Yes, sir.
The public has definitely come in pretty hot on Aljo, and I'd say this is one of the people that it is a more popular side for sure on this card. We opened up Aljo at 130. We're currently sitting 170 here in Vegas. When we opened the fight, we did get a big respected bet on Aljo, and we've kind of done our best to write some Kattar money. To me personally, I think that the price should be closer to what we opened it, but sometimes you got to go with the market and you got to go with what people want to bet, and Aljo is what people want to bet. I'm not going to say people aren't betting Kattar. It's been we've been getting more bets as we've kind of inched this thing up, but yeah, I'll throw John's name around. This is also one that John actually likes Aljo in this fight. So
get out of here, John.
We've kind of done our best to try to need Aljo, but yeah, right now we're gonna need the dog. But yeah, like I said, we've inched it up as this week has gone on.
Well, that makes me a little nervous hearing that John likes the opposite side on this one. Not fun for me, but yeah, man, I'm going against the grain on Calvin Kattar on that one. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, the opening line sometimes can tell you a lot, and I'm pretty surprised this one is another one that has moved the way it has. And yeah, we still got to respect obviously John's opinion and that early sharp action bet. So yeah, we're doing our best to get this one situated.
All right, I like it. Yuri Prochazka takes on Alexander. My tongue is destroyed. Yuri Prochazka takes on Alexander Rakic in the next fight. Man, this is another one that interesting, weird line move. Not really sure what people are doing on this one. I did take some Yuri, but you guys know I'm always on the Yuri side of things, right? And I'm always a Rakic hater, so makes sense. Obvious one for me. But what are you seeing over there?
Yeah, this is another one, man. Like a lot of these fights that open pick, there's just been drastic line movement on. So we opened this one up Rakic at 135 favorite, and we're currently sitting a pick here in Vegas now. So this thing is moved in that Yuri direction. We definitely got some bets on Yuri. He's definitely the more popular bet out of the two. Out of my personal opinions, Yuri is definitely a side that I've tried to make sure we do better on this week for the book, because I think he's going to get it done. It's a tall order for Rakic to come back and fight somebody at this level. I mean, I know Yuri is coming off the loss, and it's his second fight after that shoulder surgery and everything. But Yuri, I'm on the Yuri side, and I'm booking it to need Yuri here at the book. But we also did get this was an interesting one. We did get a bet on the over at plus 140, a pretty large bet on that, which kind of surprised me. But yeah, it was something that we took note of, and we're definitely looking to kind of write a little bit of under money, not too aggressively because of the bonuses and stuff. But yeah, that was a notable bet at a plus 140 on the over.
Wow. Okay. And that one does kind of make some sense to me here. If Rakic wins this fight, it's by decision. I mean, that's the only way I see him winning this fight, quite frankly. So I think the over does make some sense. And Yuri's one of those kind of take what you give me type of fighters. So this could be the under parlay buster, right? This could be the one that squeezes its way to the judges' scorecards. We'll see though, because after Rakic called Yuri a fake samurai, I think he pissed him off. So could go the other way.
Yeah, I will say one more thing on this fight. This fight actually this morning did flip for a little bit, where Yuri finally hit that favorite for a split second. Then you got some bets on Rakic, and now it's back down to a pick. So, like I said, it's pushing towards that Yuri side. It wouldn't shock me if it closes with Yuri as a small favorite. It's kind of been inching that way all week. And yeah, we're sitting a pick here right now. So this is a super, super exciting fight for the book.
Interesting. All right. All right. Next fight on the board, Bo Nickal takes on Cody Brundage. And you guys know I just want to see the world burn. I want to watch Cody Brundage win by first round KO. Not very likely, but who's out here laying 25-1?
No, but I mean, no one's really laying it. We're not getting huge bets on no one's backed up the dump truck and laid Bo. We actually did get one of those guys who bet a large amount on Bo Nickal in one of his first fights. Like came in and bet, I think it was like $200,000 on Bo Nickal, but that was a while ago. But this fight so far really hasn't been that way. It's kind of just been little stabs at Brundage with the big dog money, and I get it. I really do get it, because who has Bo Nickal fought? But there's a couple guys who have been trying to convince me on the Brundage side, and I can't have it, because I'm
just
the biggest
round one. Throw $20 on the round one prop. That's it.
Yeah, and I absolutely get that. If he trips on a banana peel and gets caught, it is what it is. I would be devastated, because this is my guy. I'm all in on the Bo Nickal hype. I was shocked when I was watching the press conference and they started booing him. I'm like, what has this dude done? Like, just because they chose to put him on the main card, people are upset at Bo Nickal. Like, come on, like, it's ridiculous. But yeah, for booking purposes, I'll be honest, this one hasn't been the most exciting. It's mostly just been small stabs on Cody Brundage, but
makes sense.
Yeah, nothing
that makes
too
a lot
crazy.
Of sense. The next one, though, I think we've probably got some things to talk about, man. Charles Oliveira, one of the most popular fighters in the sport, taking on Arman Tsarukyan, a guy who's really got some hype behind him, especially in the DieHard side of things. You know, the hardcore MMA fans know who this guy is and where he's headed. So let me hear it, man. What do we got on this one?
Yeah, this one, I will say Charles Oliveira is always a public favorite. People love themselves some Charles Oliveira, and you can kind of see that in the line movement. We opened this one with Tsarukyan as a 250 favorite. It's kind of inched down as the week has gone on. We did get a pretty big respected bet early on Oliveira at, what was the price? Let me check. At $2. So that price is kind of come and gone. It's sitting plus 175. So you can still get some good value on the dog if you're interested. To be honest, we haven't gone too crazy trying to write Tsarukyan money because we all kind of are on the Tsarukyan side. We think Tsarukyan is going to take care of business, and we don't want to give away our positioning too much on this favorite because we already know that the same song and dance, we're going to get the favorite money day of. So we know it's coming. We haven't had to go crazy trying to write Tsarukyan money. If we end up winning on him, I would feel tremendous. But right now, we're sitting in a very good spot on Tsarukyan because the public has been all over Oliveira.
Okay. That makes sense to me. Probably smart of you guys to do it that way because, like you said, you know you're going to get the Charles Oliveira money one way or the other anyway. So no reason. Don't need to bait it. It's coming.
Yeah, exactly.
I like it. And he's a known parlay buster, man. That guy hits freaking hard. So you could have your night ruined by Charles. You don't need to try to stack the deck against him. I've seen that go poorly more than once. All right. BMF title on the line. Justin Gaethje, Max Holloway. Oh boy, talk about line moves. I'm hoping I'm on the right side here on this one, man, but I got to hear what's coming from your side of the desk.
Yeah, this is another one. I mean, all these fights are just so awesome. So it's fun to just follow these lines because it really shows where the sharp money is and where the big money is. Clearly, there's been some big money early on Max Holloway. We had this thing opened with Gaethje. We put this one out very early. Actually. So once this fight kind of got announced, we were very quick to get this one up. We opened it up with Gaethje as a 240 favorite, and it's just constantly been coming down with that Max Holloway money coming in. We are now sitting 160 on Gaethje, and originally I absolutely understood the Max side when you're getting almost 2-1 on Max, but now you're sitting at plus 140. And this is another one. I'll just throw John's name around. He actually texted me and he's like, I just think that this price seems a little bit cheap on Gaethje. So it got down to 150, and now we're kind of starting to inch this thing back up on Gaethje a little bit. We're looking to need Gaethje. I know at the end of the day, obviously with the parlays and everything, we probably won't need him, but currently sitting, we do need Gaethje. Sharp bet early, like I said, on Holloway at 2-1. But yeah, we're sitting in a pretty good spot on a lot of these favorites right now.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Next up, guys, we've got the main and the co-main event. Once again, this is the Sharp Action Report on the home of fight. Andrew works for Superbook Sports. Make sure you give them a follow, give them some love, show some appreciation. And while you're here, hit that like button for me and subscribe. All these shows will be here moving forward. I see my guy Vincent in the chat saying he was waiting for me on pub. We haven't been in pub for like a month, buddy. This is home of fight now. This is where the show is going to be moving forward. So get subscribed here so you don't miss anything moving forward. Co-main event time. It is Weili Zhang taking on Yan Xiaonan in a spot that I just can't wrap my brain around. Every single show I've done, man, I'm like, I don't get this fight. It's not one that makes any sense to me. I've had a real hard time handicapping Yan Xiaonan for a long time. But the one thing I will tell you guys, sneak peek for the undefeated post weigh-in show later on, Yan's huge. Like, I didn't think she was going to be that much bigger than Weili Zhang. Yeah. You see a massive size difference between these two women when they faced off last night at the presser. So big question marks here for me when thinking about potentially laying any kind of a price with Zhang, but she's the biggest favorite on the card, maybe for a reason. Andrew, what you got?
I think you're forgetting about one favorite, but yeah, the second biggest. Come on, Bo Nickal.
Oh, I apologize. Hey, you know what though? With Bo, it's just he's his own thing, right? Like that line's not even playable. It doesn't count.
Yeah, you're right. So this one we opened it up at 350 on Weili Zhang. She's been obviously just a pretty popular piece to throw in the parlays. I hate to keep reiterating that, but we're sitting $5 here.
Card, man, it's what we do. Yeah. The parlay pieces.
Yeah, so yeah, we're sitting $5 now on Weili Zhang. We've gotten some money back as we've moved this thing up on Yan Xiaonan, but nothing overly crazy so far. Nothing too respected. Yeah, I hate to break it to you guys. I know a lot of people are waiting to hear for a big guy bet, but this is the kind of card that he usually stays away from because these are all such big fights, and this is not where he does his best work. So I got nothing to report from the big guy, sadly. But we did the most interesting bet on this fight was a big bet from a respected guy on the under in this one, and I did my best to move that one pretty aggressively.
Now, did it come last night though? when did the under bet come in?
It was a few days ago, but
okay.
We've been inching that under price down last night as well. When I came in this morning, I kind of knew what was going on, so we've inched this thing down. We're writing great money on this card altogether, but yeah, nothing too crazy on either side here. Most notable bet I would say is on the under.
Okay. I kind of like that, man. That's one that I might add because I think violence makes a ton of sense in this spot. Either Jan gets outed or that size matters. And I think one way or the other, somebody's probably getting finished. So if I'm going to add a bet for that fight, under's probably the way I'll look. All right, everybody. The moment is here. Main event time. Alex Pereira taking on Jamal freaking Hill. He said there was no big guy bets on the card. So obviously I'm not the big guy here. We know where I'm at. And I get a lot of hate for that opinion. Alex Pereira is still the favorite in this spot. But what are you seeing as far as handle's concerned?
Man, this fight has been incredible for handle, for sure. Really, the price has kind of ping-ponged around a ton. We opened it at 130 on Pereira. It shot down a little bit when we were getting early action on Hill. We actually took a pretty respected bet on Hill early at plus 115, and it was a pretty sizable bet. So currently we need Pereira, but man, he's such a popular piece too. I really don't have any clue where this one is going to end up, what we're going to need here, because there's just been large wagers on both sides. So we have that respected bet early on Hill at plus 15. And this is another one where I'll use John's name one more time, who is my boss, if you guys don't know. And he's super, super big into the fights. And he said that he doesn't understand why Hill is the underdog here. He's on the Hill side as well. So
okay, finally John and I get on the same page. That's nice to hear.
Yeah. And this is the one that you need. This is the one that you need for sure. So yeah, he mentioned that Pereira this is not his natural weight class, and Hill obviously has heavy, super, super heavy hands. I think he said anvil fists. So yeah, I understand it. We're doing our best now to kind of shade it towards the Jamal Hill side. And hopefully at the end of this thing, we're needing Jamal Hill. Like I said, this is one where we don't need to go crazy with. You kind of just have to trust the market on this one because, like you said, this is the one that people have very, very strong opinions on both sides. And the handle has just been tremendous. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to this fight. At the end of the day, we're looking to need Hill in this one. But yeah, nothing crazy on the total in this one, surprisingly, but great handle on the fight.
Love hearing that. I need Jamal Hill like I need oxygen, baby. Let's freaking go. And new. You guys heard it here. That is the sharp action report for UFC 300. Like I've said a couple times, give my guy Andrew a shout out. Just show him some love for spending his time with us and doing this show. Thank you very much for your time today, man. If there's anything going on, if you got any promos, of course, or anything else that the people should know about, feel free to let them know.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a card that we're definitely looking to do some unique boosts on and getting a ton of just promotion boosts out there for these fights. This is obviously everyone is looking forward to this card. So yeah, take a look at our website if you haven't yet and see if you're interested in any of those big promotional bets. You can get a lot more value with some of the stuff we do. Obviously, you can't back up the dump truck and bet thousands of dollars on those promos. They're a little bit limited, but I mean, you can get a lot more value and a bang for your buck. So yeah, keep an eye on those. Those will be out later today. And yeah, man, I'm really, really looking forward to this card. And I've been looking forward to talking to you on this podcast all week.
Hell yeah, man. Always a good time. Well, thank you everybody so much for being here. We'll get Andrew back as soon as possible. Have a great day. And of course, come back for the Undefeated post weigh-in show right after the ceremonials. So we should be going live around 5 p.m. right here on Home of Fight. Thanks again, everybody. Good luck and let's roll.